Hey everybody, it's Lala. I am here today to talk about this week's episode of True Blood. That would be season 7, episode 9. We have one more episode left, and then it's all over. So the series finale is next week, and I'm interested in seeing what they're gonna do because they have opened up a lot of cans so far, and I'd like to see how they tie it all up nice and neat on Sunday. But I am here to talk about this episode now, and hopefully, I remember everything. I tried to take some notes this time, and I am sorry, Dr. Levy. I saw you mention that I seemed a little down and off on my last video, and you asked me to watch the episode and do another one, and I did try. I was going to try to do another one, but things have been kind of crazy, so I didn't have time to make another video. And I'm going to be doing better with my videos. I'm going to do some more shows, and I just stopped working actually yesterday, so I'm going to have more free time to talk to you guys and make some videos and stuff. My medical journey that I've been talking about for eons and still haven't done, etc. I am gonna do Supernatural when that comes back. I gotta find out when that's coming back. But I did promise Steph that I would be doing that. So yeah, you guys are gonna be seeing more of me, and hopefully it'll be the happy me, because I'm feeling pretty good today. I'm so glad that I'm away from that place that I used to work at. It was horrible, and just a huge weight on my shoulders, so I'm feeling good about that. Now, since I've rambled for a good 2 minutes, I am going to get into my review. Okay, so looking at my notes, the show starts off where it left off last week with Sookie and Jessica trying to get Bill to drink Sarah's blood so he can be cured of the Hep V. Bill says, "No, I'm not gonna drink it." Dun dun dun. And everybody's like, "What the fuck? Why? Why not? What is the problem? You got a cure here. You're sick. Drink the cure. You're better. I don't understand." And Bill is like, "No, I'm not gonna do it." Jess is pissed off, of course. Eric is like, "What the hell just happened?" Sookie just kept bitch slapping Bill. I don't blame her. You know what I'm saying? You gonna put everybody else through some stuff just because you having a bad day and you feeling bad about yourself? You know, so Jessica asked Bill to release her, and he did do so. He said a little touching thing or whatever before he released her, and Pam was there. I really love that Pam has like a little soft side, from time to time. She could be like real hardcore and everything, but she's got that sweetness under a few layers. And, she just kind of hugged Jessica because she knows how it feels. Talking about if you cry on this jacket, you're buying it or you're paying for it or whatever. That was cute. So that was the end of that scene. And Jessica and Sookie leave, and they go to Sam's. Now, I'm not really sure why they went to Sam's. I don't know if they went to talk to him or what. I kind of missed that part, like why they went there. But when they got to Sam's house, of course, everything was empty. Everything was gone. And he left a note for Sookie and a note for Andy on the table. And he basically said goodbye. He packed up his stuff and moved to Chicago with his baby mama, Nicole, and it was a nice letter. He had to say goodbye to Sookie because, they did have a thing and they had a connection and everything. So Sookie read that and moved on from there. She went to Bellfleur's to tell everybody, to let everybody know, and to give Andy his letter that Sam wrote. And Arlene was throwing like a little party for all of the main characters, because there was no business. There's so much going on in the town that she's just trying to get things, try to get things back to normal as quickly as possible, or any way that she can. So she's like, everybody's just gonna come to work and start cooking, and hopefully people start showing up. but we're going to have a little thing right now. Sookie's feeling some type of way, of course. She tells everybody that Sam is gone. She pulls Andy to the side so she can give him his letter because, she's like, mine was pretty heavy and I don't want you, to have to read yours in front of everybody because it might be pretty emotional. So they went into Sam's old office and he opens the letter and it's like, dear Andy, I quit. Sam. That's it. Andy was like, okay. So that was kind of funny because he was really expecting something big and he got and that was it. Let me think. Jessica, while they're at Bellefleur's, James is there with Lafayette, and I mean everybody's there. Big John is there cooking. Holly is there with Andy. So Jessica sees James and she gets uncomfortable. It's awkward. I feel some type of way about the fact that I didn't get my, normal dose of Lafayette. Last episode he was just kind of standing there. And this episode, he was just kind of standing there. And I'm just like, I really need him to talk. I know they gave him like almost a full episode about him, but that doesn't mean that we can't hear nothing from him, now. So, I'm looking for my remote control to my air conditioner because I'm getting warm and I don't know where I put it. Anyway, so James goes over to Jessica to talk and, Jess kind of apologizes. She said that Lafayette did say some stuff to her after James left the party about how Jessica didn't know anything about James because she never thought to even ask him anything. And I think that if your boyfriend is gay and you're not aware of it, then maybe you aren't talking enough, or I don't know, there should be signs or something. So yeah, she didn't know anything about James and she pretty much was like, if you guys are happy, then I'm happy for you, and I'm sorry for not being there and not trying to find out more about you and just being a better girlfriend. So they kind of made up or whatever, and Jessica leaves because she's uncomfortable everywhere. I mean, that girl, she's always just sad and crying, and she just has like the hardest time out of everybody in Bon Temps. But she leaves, and we kind of pan over to Hoyt and Bridget. They're at Hoyt's mom's house. They're kind of packing stuff up or whatever, and Bridget is just bitching and complaining. I want to talk about why you can't have kids, and where were you all day to day while I was packing up your mama's stuff, and you trying to tell me you was just with Jason the whole time, and who's that redhead, and what about her, and and Hoyt is just like trying to talk to her like, yeah, I'm sorry, I don't want to have kids, I was with Jason, I don't know the redhead girl, and she's just like, nah, I don't believe you, and then finally she takes his word for it that he wasn't doing anything and he wasn't being shysty, and then Jessica shows up, knock knock knock, and Bridget goes right back into bitch town, and she's pissed again. Jessica wants to talk to Hoyt. She basically wanted to explain to him why they have a sort of connection and why he doesn't get it. And she kind of, tells him, like, I want to tell you the story about us. Bridget gets immediately pissed, and, she tells Hoyt that if he leaves, well, she wouldn't let Jessica in. She wouldn't invite Jessica in. And, she told Hoyt, like, if y'all going to talk or whatever, y'all got to do it outside. But I'm telling you right now, if you leave, then that's it for us. Like, and Hoyt chose Jessica. I mean, I'm sorry, but sometimes you don't really have a good position when you're the one doing all the bitching and complaining and stuff, and the other person is like inviting and calm and is trying to give you something that you want. That's not really, you want to play your role a little better than that, Bridget. So Hoyt chose Jessica, and they went out, and she is trying to tell him that, we have a history together. That's why I know you, but you don't know me. Let's see. So Bridget, while this is happening, Bridget calls Jason. Jason's at home just kind of making himself some macaroni and cheese or whatever, doing his thing. And Bridget calls him and it's just like, Jessica's here and she's talking to Hoyt about something and I just don't want to be here or whatever. So Jason runs out the house, try to go over there to try to, because he knows, like, once Jessica tells Hoyt everything, that's it. Like, Hoyt's gonna be pissed because Jason was the reason everything got fucked up in the first place. But, you know, he gets there. But we go over to, let me think, because something else happened. Okay, yeah. So Bridget called Jason. Jason was like, I'm on my way. Then we go to Arlene and Sookie again at Bellefleur's, and Sookie's kind of sitting away from everybody. Everybody else is at the table eating and talking, and Sookie's all to herself, you know, being all self-involved and everything as usual. And Adeline is reading. They're reading each other's minds, and she's like, "Come on over," and Sookie's like, "No, I'm cool." So Arlene notices, and she goes over to talk to Sookie, and just kind of. She gives good advice. Arlene gives good advice. And Sookie's pretty much just like, you've been through like everything and you've always been able to just kind of pick up and move on and be okay. And how can you do that, you know? So Arlene talks to her like, you know, sometimes that's what you have to do and you just gotta like make peace with yourself and just keep going because, you know, shit happens and it is what it is, you know? So, let me think. She makes Sookie feel a little bit better about things, and they get ready to leave. James and Lafayette are gonna take Sookie home because, you know, we still got the hep vamps running around at night, so everybody still needs protection from them. But when they get outside, Eric is standing behind a tree, looking all scary and eerie and beautiful. And he's like, you know, Sookie, I want to talk to you for a second. No. I'm skipping ahead. I'm so sorry. My bad. Let me look at my notes. So Arlene talks to Sookie. Okay, yeah. And then we go to Bill's house. My bad. We go to Bill's house. And Eric is showing up to talk to Bill about why he said no. Like, and I love the fact that Eric can be really, really, just like Pam. He can be really hardcore. And it's about his business, but he does have people that he cares about, you know, and he cares about Sookie, definitely cares about her, and he's real cool with Bill. So he shows up and he's just like, what's going on? Like, why would you say no? And Bill explains to him that, you know, he's the reason that Sookie has suffered so much and has been through so much, and as long as he's around, things are going to be messed up for her. You know, she's light and he's dark, and they're automatically attracted to each other because of that. I'm pretty sure that their relationship is based on a lot more than that, and he's really kind of, you know, minimizing it based on what I've seen over the seasons. But it's true. Bill has done some real fucked up stuff to Sookie, and she just keeps on coming back to him. So he feels like dying the true death is what is necessary to save Sookie. In my opinion, I would take the cure and just fly my ass off to Africa or something like that. Just go to the other side of the world. Sookie can't chase you then. I mean, she ain't never trying to leave Bon Temps anyway. So just get better and leave. You don't have to die. Just leave. That's what, I'm not going to die just to save you. Like, I'll just stop talking to you. And we both good. You know, it'll hurt in the beginning, but we'll get on with it. You find somebody gorgeous, you forget all about the old stuff, and you good. But you ain't got to die. I mean, if somebody came to me and was just like, you know, I done hurt you too much, and I don't want to hurt you anymore, so I'm gonna kill myself. Wait a minute. Nope, that's not how we solve problems. So I think Bill is being just a little bit too dramatic. He should have just drank Sarah, or the cunt, as Jessica named her, and just got himself together and just broke up with Sookie. Like, that's it. Just go somewhere. But he's in his feelings, you know, so he tells Eric, like, this is his reason. He's talking about his fever dream that he had, you know, where Sookie was, you know, cradling their baby, and when he walked up on them and he looked at the baby, it was just like a black void. It was nothing. And he was like, you know, she gave birth to death, and that's all that I can bring her. That's all that I can give her, and we got to leave her alone. We got to get away from her. So Eric understands, and Bill asks Eric if he can get Sookie to talk to him so he can explain himself to her. So, Eric at first was just like, fuck I look like, you know what I mean? But then, he agreed to do so. Alright, so now what are we doing here? Jason arrives at Hoyt. And he gets out the car to kind of explain things. And Hoyt knocks him the fuck out. Just like that. Just pop right in the eye. So Jason is down for the count. A little bit later, apparently about 5 minutes later, he wakes up in his squad car. And Bridget is driving him to the hospital because he obviously has a concussion. But as we all know, Jason has had many concussions. So he's like, I'm good. Ain't no reason to go to the hospital. 5 minutes of, not being conscious is not that big of a deal. Let's just go back to my place. So they do that. And let's see. We go back to Fantasia, where they go down to get Numi, Sarah, whatever, and bring her upstairs, and she's all freaking out, and Pam's like, basically, I'm about to I'm about to take you back to blind, because you gotta look good when we pimp your ass out. So she kind of tells her, like, we're gonna sell you to the highest bidder, and you'll probably be the highest paid hooker in all of history or whatever, because we got what we need, but you got the goods, and people are gonna want you, so we're gonna sell you. Yeah, so let me think. I'm looking at my notes. Hold on. It's weird because when I'm using my notes, I can't just be like, it's me, I'm Lala, or whatever. And I'm trying not to be like too dry, but I also want to follow what I'm talking about. So, help me out, y'all. I'm struggling. I'm trying. I love you guys. I'm sorry. Okay, so we kind of go back to Jessica and Hoyt. They're talking. Jessica pretty much explained the whole relationship and everything that happened to Hoyt, and that, she wasn't ready, and that's why she messed up before. And Hoyt's like, well, are you ready now? Clearly she is. And then you can pan back to Bridget and Jason at Jason's place, and they're talking. She was trying to get a plane ticket so she could leave the next day because she just couldn't stand being around there. It's a lot going on, and then your boyfriend leaves you for some vampire or whatever. It kind of sucks to be you, Bridget. And the the flight attendant or whatever they are, I don't know what they're called, but she was trying to charge Bridget like $1,200 to be able to fly out tomorrow to Alaska. Jason got on the phone and turned on that charm. And I'm trying to tell you, not many guys can pull it, but Jason looks good with a black eye. It was kind of sexy. I don't know. I guess it's just a Jason thing. But he works it out and gets her, a seat on a flight to leave the next day. And after they do that, like, Bridget is like, oh, you're really charming and you're interesting and blah, blah, blah. In the car, I forgot to mention that, in the car, when Bridget was taking Jason home, he had to straight up tell her, like, yo, I'm not going to have sex with you tonight. And Bridget is like, the fuck makes you think I'm thinking about having sex with you? And he's just like, yo, like, I got to tell you, it's not going to happen. It would if I didn't say something. So it's not going to happen. I'm trying to save you. So she thinks it's funny, but later on you can see that she really starting to kind of feel Jason, and he's just got a way about him. So he basically explains the whole Jessica and Hoyt situation to Bridget, and kind of tells her, like, he's not lying to you. He didn't know who she was because he asked her to erase his memory, but they were meant to be together, and you didn't do anything wrong. You just kind of fell in love with somebody who was already meant to be with somebody else. So, it is what it is. And while he's explaining that to Bridget, Jessica and Hoyt are back at, Hoyt's place getting it in. So, I guess everything is the way it's supposed to be now. Jessica and Hoyt together. And they pretty much just kind of threw that in there and tied that up with a quick little bow real fast. And as far as Bridget and Jason is concerned, I don't know. I don't really see Bridget being with Jason. I don't know. It's rushed. It doesn't seem authentic that she would just show up one day and then they just live happily ever after. I get Jessica and Hoyt. I get that because they have history and we've had time to kind of see them together and know them together. But Bridget and Jason, I'm not feeling that. I'm hoping that they don't just do that just to say that they did something. So now we go back to Bellefleur's when Sookie and Lafayette and James are leaving to take Sookie home. And that's when Eric was like hiding in the bushes behind a tree, all like, hey, Sook, let me talk to you for a minute. Like he was trying to, never mind. So, yeah, he talks to Sookie, and he explains to her that Bill wants to talk to her and tell her why he's, denying the cure. And, Sookie is just like, I don't, like, what could he possibly have to say to me at this point? Like, he's being childish and he can't even give a real answer, and I'm just not here for it. I'm over it. But he talks her into seeing Bill and talking to Bill. And, he explains that Bill's got a good reason. And it's clear that Eric really does care about Sookie. And it's nice to see. So, now my computer's talking about restarting. You tried it. Let me hurry up. So, Eric flies Sookie back to her place. And, that just looked awesome. I would love to fly somewhere with Eric. Child, I love to sit somewhere with Eric. I just want to look at him. He's gorgeous. Jason tells Bridget, they lay together, and Bridget is showing him how to sleep with someone without sleeping with them. So they lay and they talk. I wouldn't mind doing something like that. That looks nice. It's intimate. And he explains to her that, he wants to have kids. And now they have something in common. I'm still not feeling it. Eric goes back to Bellefleur's. Goes back to Fantasia. And Ginger's there, pissed off that he didn't tell her at some point that he was cured. So he apologizes by boinking her. He finally gets to screw her. She's happy. They get up there on the throne where she wants to do it. She hops up on that, and she's done in like 4 seconds, probably 3 seconds, and has like the longest, craziest orgasm ever, and talks about how fantastic he is. I believe it. I guess when you waited so long for something like that and it finally happens, I don't know. But it didn't last long. He wasn't busy for too long. And then he realizes that no one else is around. He's looking for Pam. And Pam is in the basement with Mr. Gus and the Yakuza. And they found out that Sookie knows about the cure. They got Pam strapped to some kind of bed or whatever, to some kind of slab with a stake hanging over her and, the chains around her neck or whatever. And they're like, Eric, does Sookie know about the cure? And, they're about to kill her. And he finally says, yeah. So now Mr. Gus wants to know what Sookie's address is. So I guess they want to go kill her or something like that. And it's Sookie's fault because he told her in the last episode, I'm going to come for you. Sit your ass down and wait for me to come to you. But she couldn't do that. So now she done fucked something else up because Sookie don't know how to listen. And she just does whatever the fuck she wants to do. Even though you tell her this is how it's supposed to work, she's got to do her own thing. So now she about to die. And you know what? Good fucking riddance. Because Sookie don't know how to listen. And that's your fault. I told you to stay your ass home and wait for me to bring the blood to you. But did you listen? No. So let them do what they gonna do. I'm over Sookie. She always doing shit, and I don't understand her. I don't. Just sit down for a second and something will actually happen that's supposed to happen the way it's supposed to happen. But Sookie can't have it any other way. You done went through all that goddamn trouble, and now you about to die, and Bill is still sick. He gonna die too. So now both of y'all gonna be dead, and it's your fault. So, then we see Bill walking through the graveyard to go to Sookie's house so they could talk. He stops to say hi to his wife's tombstone, and he shows up, and that's the end of the episode. So, I think it was a pretty good episode. I'm really, really interested in what's going to happen in the next episode, because I feel like they aren't tying it up enough. I feel like there's still more things more questions that needs to be answered, and they only got another hour to work it out. If Bill dies, like I said before, I really don't care. Eric is okay. I'm hoping he stays okay. I'm hoping nothing happens to Pam. Sookie dies, good for her. That's what the fuck she gets. And everything else is everything else. I don't know. Is there anybody else I care about? Hopefully Lafayette has something to say next episode. You know, I mean, he could just tell us what happened. Just narrate the whole damn thing. And I will get my life. Okay? Um, that is everything. Those are all the notes that I have. I hope I didn't miss anything. If I did, let me know down in the comments. I love you guys. You will be seeing more of me soon. And yeah, just like, comment, subscribe, do what you do. I love you too. And yeah, my computer is about to restart. So I love you guys. Bye bye.